Finding the meanings. Spotting the important word is only the beginning of the task. Spotting the important word is only the beginning of the task. It merely locates the places in the text where you have to go to work. It merely locates places in the text where you have to go to work. There's another part of this fifth rule of reading. Let us turn to that now. Let us suppose you have marked the words that trouble you. What next? There's another part of this fifth rule of reading. Let us turn to that now. Let us suppose you have marked the words that is troubling you. What next? There are two main possibilities. Either the author is using these words in a single sense throughout, or he's using them in two or more senses. Shift his meaning from place to place. There are two main possibilities. Either the author is using these words in a single meaning, single sense throughout the text, throughout the book, or he's using them in two or more senses, shifting his meaning from place to place. In the first alternative, the word stands for single term. In the first alternative, the word stands for single term. A good example of important words so that they are restricted to single meaning is found in Euclid. The second alternative, the word stands for several terms. First alternative examples can be found in the book of Euclid. The word stands for several terms. That's the second. In the light of these alternatives, your procedure should be as follows. In the light of these alternatives, your procedure should be as follows. First, try to determine whether the word has one or many meanings. First, try to determine if the word has one or many meanings. If it has many, try to see how they are related. If it has many, try to see how they are related. Finally, note the places where the word is used in one sense or another, and see if the context gives you any clue to the reason for the shift in the meaning. Finally, note the places where where the word is used in one sense or another, and see if the context gives you any hint to the reason for the shift in meaning. This last will enable you follow the words in its change of meanings with the same flexibility that characterizes the author's usage. But you may complain whether is clear. You may complain everything is clear except the main thing. How does one find out what the meaning are? The answer, the simple, may appear unsatisfactory, but patience and practice will show you otherwise. The answer is that you have to discover the meaning of word you do not understand by using the meaning of all other words in a context that you do understand. If you don't understand the word, context of word, use other words in the context. Meaning of word you not understand by using all the words in the context that you do understand. This must be the way, no matter how merry-go-roundish it may seem at first. The easiest way to illustrate this is to consider a definition. A definition is stated in words. If you do not understand any of the words used in the definition, you obviously cannot understand the meaning of the word that names the things defined. The word point is a basic word in geometry. You may think you know that it means, but Euclid wants to be sure you use it in only one way. He tells you that he means by first defining the thing he is later going to use the word to name. He says a point is that which has no part. How does that help to bring you to terms with it? You know, he assumes that every other word in the sentence mean with sufficient precision. You know that whatever has parts is a complex whole. You know that opposite of complex is simple. To be simple is the same as to lack parts. You know that the use of the words is and that which means that the thing referred to must be an entity of some sort. Incidentally, it follows from all this that if there are no physical things without parts, a point, as Euclid speaks of it, cannot be physical. This illustration is typical of the process by which you acquire meanings. You operate with meanings you already possess. If every word that was used in a definition had itself to be defined, nothing could ever be defined. If every word that we used in a definition had itself to be defined, if every word that was used in a definition has had itself to be defined, nothing could be defined. If every word in a book you were reading was entirely strange to you, in the case of a book in a total foreign language, you could make no progress at all. That is what simple, that's what people mean when they say of a book that is all Greek to them. That is what people mean when they say the book is all Greek to them. The book that it is all Greek to them. They simply have not tried to understand it, which would be justifiable if it were really in Greek. But most of the words in any English book are familiar words. These words surround the strange words, the technical words, the words that may cause the reader some trouble. The surrounding words are context for words to be interpret, interpreted, interpreted, to be interpreted. The reader has all the materials he needs to do the job, interpreted. We are not pretending the job is an easy one. We are only insisting that it is not an impossible one. If it were, no one could read a book to gain in understanding. The fact that a book can give you new insight or enlighten you indicates that it probably contains words you may not readily understand. If you could not come to understand those words by your own efforts, then the kind of reading we are talking about would be impossible. That is analytical reading. It would be impossible to pass from understanding less to understand more by your own operations on a book. There is no rule of thumb for doing this. The process is something like the trial and error method of putting a jigsaw puzzle together. The more parts you put together, the easier it is to find places for remaining parts, if only because there are fewer of them. A book comes to you with large number of words already in a place. A word in a place is a term. it is definitely located by the meaning that you and author share in using it. The remaining words must be put in place. You do this by trying to make them fit this way or that. The better you understand the picture, the words so far in place already partially reveal, the easier it is to complete the picture by making terms of the remaining words. Each word put into place makes the next adjustment easier.